Hello, and thanks for joining us on tonight's matchup. We have ProdigalGG up against PDHM Gaming on Clubhouse. PDHM Gaming will start off the ban phase for us here. They will take the first attacker off the board. So will we see the Thatcher ban, as that has become pretty typical for this map, as there's just so much hard destruction? Or will we see something new? No? We are going to see Thatcher get taken off the board as expected. That's going to make ProdigalGG's attack on the first half a lot harder as we move forward. Now we go to Prodigal's first ban here. And that will be Hibana. So that will leave the attackers with Thermite and Maverick in terms of hard breach utility, which is expected, but Hibana is a preferred breacher on some of those sites, as she just has a bit more fragging potential and a bit more ability to open up those hatches if they are not hit with the Kaid Electro Claws. They will more than likely. So Hibana taking off the board regardless. Valkyrie coming out. That's an intel op getting taken off the board. Not the typical one. He is a great op nonetheless, so we will probably see a lot of either Echo or Maestro play. Mozzie, something along the lines of that, as the final ban comes out from PDHM, and it's going to be Mira. She can be extremely influential on pretty much any site she's a part of, so no surprises there. But the Hibana and Valkyrie ban are definitely interesting. It'll be interesting to see how that affects the game as we get started here with our first round, heading up into Cash and CC. The PDHM starting on defense. This is a pretty defender-sided map, but the attacking teams do seem to be figuring this out slowly but surely. We are starting to see it swing in favor of just a more well-prepared team in terms of hard breach efficiency. Echo gets switched off onto the Maestro there, keeping the intel op regardless. We will see Kaid come out there to deny the hard breach. We're going to have a Mozzie on the board as well, which could also work as an intel op if he's able to get sufficient use out of those gadgets. Test.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
If PDHM has anything special in terms of the setup here on Cash, see them open up a rotation into logistics. And they will be reinforcing the hot tub balcony over there just to cut off one of those very popular entry points for the attacking team. You'll see a lot of teams gain access to the second floor from hot tub balcony, as they also place reinforcements on the garage doors here to stop the attackers from gaining any easy angles onto the player within catwalk.
10 seconds to go.
We do see them opening up quite a few rotations on the west side of the map here, so it looks like they will be playing pretty roam heavy if they're able to maintain control.
Moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Some late reinforcement to aid the player on catwalk. If that wall does get opened up, it seems they're gonna open up dirt here and send Zofia in early, possibly for a push-up secret. Very interesting. We do see teams use this as an entry point, catch the defenders off guard. A lot of defenders will be making early flanks on the lower level of this map, as it is so hard to drone out this entire map efficiently. See smoke playing on main stair, and Mozzie will be on stock, so if they were working their way up secret, they will more than likely run into this Mozzie here shortly. So we'll have to be efficient with their hard breachers here. We haven't seen anything just yet happen in the way of that utility. Mozzie's still playing on this first floor. He did just get droned out, and they have somebody trying to open up stock. He's probably aware of that as the audio does come out. But is he aware of the player with on secret? And he is. He's going to get a nice headshot on the Rev. That's going to be the first pick for the defense. He's looking for a second in the stock. He's going to take a good bit of damage, though. He's barely able to touch the IQ. She's going to win that engagement in terms of health. But he's going to aggress. He's looking for more. Will he be able to find this next pick onto IQ? She plays it safe behind the rack there. They take the man count, sitting up 5v4. The defense just needs to hold out. IQ does peek it and grabs the kill onto the Mozzie, though. That's going to give her control over this first floor, and she's going to be able to get to work on some of this utility, as the floor is entirely soft here. She will just have to work around a few obstacles. So, with 1 minute left, we are looking at a 4v4. We have Jaeger playing in a late flank position. He could grab a pick onto the IQ if he continues to move forward on this. He is looking the wrong way at the moment. Seems he is aware that they have a player within this area, and he's going to grab a pick on the IQ. She's not even looking. A really nice pick coming out from Shady there, but they will have another attacker pushing in through stock here to try and pressure the defense, but they are looking at a 3v4 here. They're going to need to be careful as Jaeger is primed and ready to take on this next gunfight on the buck here. Do see Thermite taking a few hits from the Evil Eye there, as it's going to take away about 25 of his health, but that's going to be Shady finding a second kill, and I got to imagine the attackers are feeling pretty pressured now as they are sitting at a 4v2. Very little done in terms of hard breach. That Evil Eye is just terrorizing. But Thermite, as he sits at just above 25 health now. Maverick's going to rotate on over into server wall as it has opened it up. He vaults on in. He's able to find one pick, but he'll have to find 3 more in order to grab a victory here, and it's just not going to happen. That's going to be Corrupt finding the final kill there with the SMG-11, and that's going to be a round victory. Oh, nice shot coming through the wall there. Nice job. First round goes to PDHM on the side of defense. So a nice job there from the defenders, as the pressure from below just proved to be a little too much. Jaeger really shaping the ending of that round there with the flank coming onto the attackers on the first floor. I do believe he picked off Buck and IQ. Buck being within stock there in the final moments just before we switched away. So very nice job from him taking out the pressure from below. Which really kind of stunted the vertical play coming from the attacking team as well. Didn't pressure them nearly as much as they needed to within sight. Gave the defenders all the time they needed to make the plays as well. So we're going to head down into the basement site here, Church Arsenal. They look to switch things up after taking a loss on that first round. But I do like to see sometimes holding on to that first site, even if you are confident in it, can just be costly if the attackers have a good read on it. So nice rotate here. Nothing out of the ordinary. We're going to see some rotates get opened up into blue here. We'll have the ADS playing on electrical as well, so somebody could be rooted within that position. Hold the defenders off from pushing secret.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Going to see your typical reinforcements up top, as all of the drop downs are reinforced. It looks like we might have a little bit of a roam plan out here from Mozzie. This is a site where you typically can see 4, if not 5 of the defenders all stacked within that basement level. So there's just so many angles to hold, and they can safely hold those angles and just deny any point of entry from the attackers. Nonetheless, we are going to see a pretty decent roam here from them, as we're going to see Jaeger playing all the way up top, looking for that late flank again, which was very successful on the last round, so you cannot blame them for looking to do that exact thing once again. As the drone does come in through stock, it's going to be 1 down. The defense. Attacking team never wants to lose too much of their drone economy. They are going to be aware of his rotation up on cache though, and that's going to give them access to move on in here, as they have attackers following those drones, as well as Buck and IQ pushing up into the master's side of the second floor here. There is a player within this room, and I don't think she's going to be aware of it. She's going to do a punch hole, but she's going to take a little bit of damage as Jaeger's able to pick off the Buck and put a few rounds into IQ. So that master push immediately forwarded by the Jaeger there playing behind the bed. The attackers are going to have to be wary of him for the rest of this round as they start to get to work on some of the hatches. They had to have just spotted that player within garage there. It seems like they looking to double take possibly, or maybe they missed it. Can't be entirely sure, but they are going to have to be careful. 2 roamers coming up here. And the Mozzie is poaching on that position. He's got a drone of his own looking for intel right now. And he's gonna spot the thermites. They are just feet away from each other at this point. More than likely gonna get involved in an engagement here. They play it slow here, looking for either one to aggress, but that's gonna be a nice shot coming through the wall, I do believe, from Nomad all the way from Bar. That's gonna be a nice pick for the offense there. Put them in a 4v4, make things a lot doable as they head into the latter part of this round as we're hitting the 40-second mark. They're gonna drop into Moto. Smoke canisters do come out to deny them here for just a second longer. We're gonna see Corrupt positioned just behind this vending machine or refrigerator within Bar. And they are going to start opening up the soft part, or I guess side of this wall. They're gonna have to be careful. He sees the gun there. It's gonna be an easy pick. That is gonna be Corrupt with an easy pick. 2 shots onto Nupin. Nets Exist going down at the same time. Croissant's able to add on to those kills, and Corrupt finds a third. Really well played by Corrupt there as he waits for the wall to open up, sees the gun of the other player, but decides to wait until both players are exposed and comfortable on that hole being opened up. So nice job there with the trigger discipline to wait for the right moment to push up and make that play. So we see success from the defenders once again here. They go up 2-0. We head on into gym bedroom. They should be feeling pretty confident about this site pick, honestly, though it is their last option unless they wanted to go main bar stuck. You will typically never see a team go there, as it is seen as by the community as one of the weaker sites on this map.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
Not very viable, so typically when they find the success 2 rounds in a row, getting through those early rotations, they're going to head on into master bedroom. And we're going to see the castle come out here, which is standard, as he will be barricading either gym window and door to aid the hard denial, but there is no hard denial. So interesting, as typically you would see that to help the bandits or the Kaid trick that wall safely, as it'll block that angle coming out from the master balcony, but no hard denial coming out from the defense here, so the attackers should have no problem making their way in. It's just really weird without the Thatcher to not see any utility focused on keeping the hard breach out. They are going to read into them going master gym, obviously, and the defense is actually going to have quite a bit of stock invested on the opposite roam on the east floor of server in cash. We'll see the Maverick immediately head up onto hot tub balcony, and he might even just make the call onto Thermite at this point to come open up this wall with the lack of utility. I would be surprised if they tried to map that open at this point. Already going to 11 hit that castle barricade open, or at least finish it off. Unsure as to whether it was prepped or not, but nonetheless, that's one castle barricade off the board. Sorry, words are hard currently. As Thermite does rotate on over to this balcony, I wasn't waiting for when the call would come out here as he gets to work on the wall. That's going to really narrow the rotations for the defenders for the rest of the round, as that is such a crucial hallway for them to have control over. We'll see Capital peeking into server, looking for any possible defenders playing within cache and or server to make a rotate. So this is a pretty nice angle looking through the barricade here. They will have 2 players on the east side of this floor still. The attackers got a lot of work to do if they look to get inside sight for any type of execution, as we see Sophia peeking in through the master bedroom. She probably will send a concussion on in, but she's going to get it burned by an ADS. At least that's taken care of for the time being. But a good burn of utility from the Jaeger there, as they just walk right up in front of Rev and grab an easy down onto Sophia. She is able to withstand, so this isn't the end of the world, but Rev has really got to be feeling that that was a missed opportunity there, and he's going to pay for it dearly, as Sophia sits at 20 health now for the rest of this round, and most of the defenders are still looking at about full health. So they're priming for a gym take, it looks like. They will send a few air jabs down the hallway there to cut off any rotations. And they've got to be aware of the player on main stair. Capital bolts coming out here. Ooh, trying to flush out the player within the bathroom. They're actually going to smoke off the angle used to deny the plant as they send a plant down. Beautiful execute thus far from the attackers. As we kill comes out from the thermite. That's actually going to be two. He finds two huge picks inside of cache and server. That's going to be all of the room presence gone immediately, and Legion will fall last to the Nomad. Really nice job from the attackers there to pick up their first round. Though the defense probably isn't feeling too hurt, as that is one of the weaker sites in rotation, and they will get to move back to one of their favorites as we move forward here. We hit the quarter mark of this matchup. Okay, nothing too different from the attacking team here. I believe we do have a IQ instead of the Capital. Or the Buck. Can't be too sure, but we will see a lack of Capital here, as he did play a pretty instrumental part in that take there on the last round for the attackers.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Important to note, but we head back into cache. And once again, okay, they do have the hard denial this time, so Kaid will make it a bit harder for the attackers here, and that Maverick will have to get to work on that wall as soon as he can, because it can be a timely process. As we saw before, a lot of rotations getting opened up by this team, though we don't see anything coming in. The cache, there it is, as he'll probably use those to find angles on top of the tables, or possibly toss canisters over the top of the server rack there to deny the default plant. Hatch opened up within construction as well. Alright, and the attackers are immediately start making their way in through kitchen, it seems. The Zofia has been looking for early entries beginning of these attacking rounds. They grab control over master balcony, start putting some pressure through these windows as well, but they are not to be careful, because we saw that they are not afraid to peek these windows if they feel they have the proper angle. So interesting to not see them take the Maverick on over to the server wall right away. As I said, that can be a pretty timely process, and we're already a minute into this round. But Thermite is getting prepped for a construction take here, so it seems they will have some pressure on site here shortly as logistics wall gets opened up, gives them access to construction now. And now we see Maverick getting to work on this wall, and it looks like he's doing a pretty good job as he's able to knock the bottom part of the wall off rather quickly. Alright, and he successfully gets that wall opened up rather fast. A nice job from the Maverick there, as you'll see a lot of people struggle on that for 40 plus seconds sometimes, and he still has plenty of torch left to do a little more damage to this reinforcements if he so chooses. Alright. Thermite's more than likely looking to open up this construction wall here, as he's doing so now. And that's going to be the Evil Eye off the board as well. Exist finds a kill, and that's one for Rev as well. As the first two picks for the attacking team get picked up here. And that immediately puts the attackers at an advantage as they're looking at a 5v3. That's going to be Rev with his second kill. As he looks for a third, and he finds it on the player within red stairs. He's going to peek on into the rotation, looking at the bottom of red stair here. Plant is starting to go down. This is a 1v5. It's pretty much impossible for the Jaeger here. He's all the way downstairs. He's not even aware of the position on the main door here, but they have yet to peek. And there's no need for them to do so, as if they play this safe. It's pretty much impossible for him to find the victory. That's going to be a flawless round coming out from ProdigalGG, as that was excellently done. A very nice push from the attackers there. as they are able to tie this up at 2-2. So 2-2 is not a bad position at all for ProdigalGG to be in, as we are reaching the halfway point of this game. If they are able to keep this up and even put themselves at a 4-2 or 3-3, they will be feeling very good heading into the defensive side of the half. We head back to CC, which isn't unexpected. He switches off onto smoke. We bring the Kaid again. We're going to see the same setup coming from both these teams, as they know what they need to get done when it comes to this site execute, as we could tell from that last round. But will PDHM be able to make the corrections? We will find out here in the coming minutes of this next round. Those two picks really just opened up the door for the attacking team, and they were really getting a lot done in the way of utility and construction and on server. So really just a solid execute from the attackers all around, as they found success with all of their utility, won the gunfights, and made their way into site for proper execution.
10 seconds to insertion. 5 seconds
We'll
remaining.
see them open up the drop down and gym, as this will once again give them a lot of play on the roam here. And they've had some decent success in the earlier rounds that they have won. We're gonna need to see the roam pick back up though if they want to continue to find that success. They have been relatively quiet in the past rounds. Picks going the way of the attackers earlier on. Like they're going to start to make their way into stock, but not before they hop back on drones, just to make sure everything's clear. Though it is worrying to see your team droning themselves in. They do have eyes on the Jaeger here. Is narrowly unable to find the pick. It will open up the wall here just to put a little bit of pressure, and if he's not careful, he's going to be able to bounce this nade off. Oh, very well done by Reb, as he grabs an easy pick onto the Jaeger, and that's the roam off the board already, or at least part of it for the attackers, and they got to be feeling good at this point in time, as they know that the ADS is off. He's going to throw another nade in. Looks like that one might go on over into Cash. Unable to find anybody though. It's not going to find two. Nonetheless, a good play by the Buck, as he's actually able to find his second kill with the C8, and that's going to be Corrupt down as the smoke goes off the board early on. That's some plant denial off the board right there for the defenders. You never like to see the smoke go in the earlier parts of a round. He is just so crucial to keep those attackers from pushing when you're sitting at about 45 seconds. We're going to see Exist find another pick. That's the Sophia and the Buck, showing how pivotal they are to the attacking team currently, as they have really just found all the doors and opened them up themselves, as Croissant finds a pick onto Rev though, as he shuts down the Buck finally. But we are still looking at 2v4. This is going to be incredibly hard for the defenders to come back. Do a good bit of damage onto Sophia. Is actually going to find the down. He's going to hop off into servers. One goes down, so we're looking at a 3v1 here. Plant starts to go down, and the crossfires are held for the attacking team, and they find another pick onto the player. Peeking through the bomb chassis there. Nice job, once again, from ProdigalGG. They seem to have the site push on Cash CC down. I'd be hesitant to go back there if I were PDHM. Buck and Sophia really playing a pivotal role in how these attacks are going, as they are finding the opening picks rather early on from any aggressors coming from the side of PDHM, as Jaeger got droned out, hit with the nade, and I do believe Corrupt was coming back to that area to add some pressure possibly, but was immediately picked off by the Buck once again, which gave them control over the master bedroom side of the map. They just started to prep their construction take once again,
being defused by attackers.
and found an easy victory there. So, as I said, if they were able to take this even to a 3 or 4-2, they were going to be feeling good, and they've definitely accomplished the better side of those options. They are sitting at 3-2 right now, looking to possibly even make it 4-2 inside or in favor of the attackers, which we do not often see on this map. But like I said, the executes are becoming more and more known to a lot of teams, or the possibilities of how to execute, and we're seeing a lot of teams begin to figure that out. We'll see that with a lot of maps that were once defender sided. Eventually the attackers do catch on. See, most of the players stationed within sight here, but it does look like we will have a bit dedicated to the roam. Once again, the Jaeger playing very, very deep roams on this map. He's typically playing on the second floor, more than likely looking to rotate down and support the Mozzie, vice versa, depending on what they need. Let's see, IQ quick to get up top, as they are expecting somebody to be playing up here. Go ahead and get to work on the construction window. Jaeger feels it, as you can see him frantically running around at this point, as there are bullets coming through most every window. And they will open up the hot tub balcony here as they look to gain control over the top floor as quickly as possible so they can work their way down and get to work with some of this utility. See where the OT guys rotated off to. Jaeger playing on bar now. Looking through this angle that the Bucks opened up here from Master Bedroom. He's gonna have to be careful. This is a two-way angle, and if Jaeger plays this right, he might be able to find a pick, but Mozzie finds one first. They're gonna rotate.
Loading new magazine.
Does walk just in front of those angles, but apparently no attacker sitting on them anymore. The Buck was just looking the wrong way at the wrong time. It's going to allow Mozzie to move right on out, but that'll be Nupin with a pick onto Jaeger. Shady to get put down from the IQ, and that's a bit of first floor control now, but they do need to be wary of the Mozzie who's still stationed on the strip side. Caused a lot of damage in the later parts of this round if not discovered from the attackers. Looks like he is worried about somebody coming from strip, but he will quickly have to adjust his aim, as that is not where the push is coming from. They are quickly pushing from the way of bathroom, and Rev's just going to win that gunfight regardless of the fact that Mozzie was holding the angle. And we are looking at a 4v3, but he does sit at about 5 health, if not less at this point. 45 seconds left in this round. The attackers do have plenty of time to set this up. They're going to have to be careful though, as the favor just barely leans towards them. Finds a nice angle here, looking on anybody playing on that mini bar within church. You commonly will see players positioned here, but so far nothing for the Buck, and they are going to need to start to make some moves, as we're sitting at about 15 seconds here, and they really haven't done much to grab site control. All of these players still anchored pretty heavily within their original positions here, and there's still barbed wire and gadgets and a lot of these entries that the attackers are going to have to deal with. That's a pick from the Legion within blues. IQ goes down. Thermite's able to find one, but Corrupt trades back with the shotgun. They are just not going to be able to do it. The defenders are able to find the win here, but a great half from the attackers nonetheless, as we sit at 3-3. As the teams will now switch sides. ProdigalGG will have to see if they're able to keep up that same pace they were on attack on defense. As I see that for a victory on the half for Prodigal, as 3-3 on this map is nothing to it's hard to do. We're going to see what PDHM can do on the side of attack. You see them bring the Thermite and the Maverick as expected, with Habana off the board here and the Thatcher out of play. You don't really have much a choice if you look to get into this site, as they head into Cash and CC first here. See an Echo come into play. Do you believe that's the first time we've seen Echo? And it will be brought by Prodigal on their first round on defense. We are seeing some pretty even performances coming out from both teams. Nobody really standing out too much. The Rev playing a pretty pivotal role in like how the attackers were getting control over the map on their side attack there. But you do like to see when the teams are firing on all cylinders, which it looks like that's what we have here, is pretty much everybody is playing a pretty decent role in how these rounds are shaping.
Attackers must locate and defuse the bomb.
The Rev going for a pretty aggressive peek here, looking at a pretty narrow angle. waiting for anybody to start to rappel up, I believe. I'm not too sure. You will have to be careful though, as if any drones do spot him, that would be an easy kill for the attackers. They will open up the garage door here pretty early on and put some pressure on the Jaeger within catwalk. Making it all the harder for this Jaeger to play safely on this catwalk. They're going to go ahead and peek it, but Exist finds a nice shot on the Waffles, and that's going to be a Capital off the board. What a huge pick for the defense. That's so much utility gone. It's going to make the site execute a lot harder for them, especially with an Echo up on the board as well. We see Rev still sitting on this angle, looking for any potential attackers to make their way up towards this balcony. He hopes to catch them off guard as he has this window prepped. But with any luck, they will spot the wood. And we're going to see Maverick get to work on the server wall here, as we're at about minute 45 left in this round. He's definitely going to need to do so. Gonna see Corrupt droning the Sophia in here, as the Pest will find success in grabbing that drone. There's not gonna be anybody to stop him from taking it either. Sophia's at the bottom of Secret though, and it does seem like she wanted to exchange a few words with him before she rotates off and hops on a drone of her own to grab some intel for her team as they look to make their way forward on this attack. Just about a minute left here. They haven't found much success on getting this wall open, but it seems like they have gotten the Electro Claw off, or the Bandit charges off, I'm sorry, and they will go for the wall now on server. We'll open up a lot of angles for the attackers here, allow them to put pressure from a few different angles onto the player on catwalk, and cut off the rotations through server as well. We do see Jaeger playing extremely aggressive on the bottom of garage now. I'm not sure if the attackers are even aware that he is rotated to this position. Ooh, just narrowly not finding the pick on the buck there, but a nice job from Croissant to find the pick off onto Nopin. That'll be the Mozzie off the board, and it evens things up as we hit the 25-second mark, but Exist looks to trade that out, but not before Thermite's able to do so as well. They're going to make their way up the catwalk now. Sophia and Thermite look to find some type of take onto the server site here. It's going to be hard, as the defenders will more than likely know where the attack is coming from. We do see the yokai positioned properly here to stop the plant, and we're almost at 0-0 here. Ooh, the Maverick just narrowly putting himself in position. It doesn't matter, the C4 is down below. No need for the yokais. They're able to find the pick with the C4, deny the default plant, and that'll be a round win for the defenders as ProdigalGG finds their first win for the first round on this half. They will head down into Church Arsenal now, as we saw in the half prior. That is the typical rotation, where you will see Church come first, vice versa, heading into Cash CC. Nothing out of the ordinary from either of these teams on defense. So a nice job from the defense there, as their roam within garage is really able to stagger that attack. You do need catwalk control if you looked for that server plant. So even though they were able to get the wall open, the picks just came in too late. By the time they were ready to try and put a plant down, it was already about 5 to 7 seconds left, and they had plenty of utility to deny that default spot as well. So just not going to go the way of the attackers that round. But we will see what they have in store for this Church Arsenal hold. Things could drastically change, as that was just the first round of the second half. Rev definitely continuing his pace, as we actually see all the players picking up a few more frags there. Like I said, both these teams seem to be firing on all cylinders. No one player doing too much of the workload. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw Thermite immediately open up dirt here. They do have a pulse playing right here, though. It's interesting. He might get aggressive on this, as a matter of fact.
defender has left the area of
He
operation.
runs out looking for the player who just opened up the wall, but they're too far gone, and the attackers are going to be ready and waiting for him to make his way back into the dirt. It's a nice attempt there from the Pulse, but unfortunately it's going to come back to bite him as the attackers were just too far out of position for him to spot. That's going to put the player count in the favor of the PDHM right away. We're just at a minute left in this round, and the Pulse is a pretty crucial operator to have in the dying moments of any site, so it's a big pick for them. The Rev playing pretty aggressively on the first floor here. This is a pretty common entry point for the attackers to head in through garage, possibly grab control over blue or secret. Some bullet holes opened up here looking for any players within main bar. They might find success. They are kind of stacking up in this main bar area. If Ella gets aggressive at the right time here, this could spell disaster for PDHM. But she's going to get picked off immediately by the Jaeger, I suppose. So it must have been a miscommunication there on the side of the defense. That's going to cost him quite a bit of health on the Ella. And it's going to give away their position as the attackers have now droned them out as well. Hearing the gunshots go off definitely alerted them. And that flank will essentially die where it stands.
Bomb has been located.
He will be unable to aggress at this point. They're even going to put the buck up top to put some vertical pressure on this as well. As things are looking worse and worse for the Ella on this roam. You see Jaeger trying to sit out of position here, trying to catch the attackers off guard as they do start to focus up on the Ella within stock here. Maybe hoping to use that to his advantage. But wisely, the attackers do back off and decide to let the room come to them. Probably put somebody on flank watch as they make their way forward here. They look to make a site execute before the dying moments of the round, but that's a player going to go down in moto from the Jaeger, who was in blue, but he's immediately traded back out. But Nubin finding one as well. That's going to be the Goyo going down now. Shady has a triple kill. He's going to head in for the default plant and church here. The Evil Eye coming out. I don't know if it'll be able to full kill the IQ before she's able to get the plant off. No, it overheats. She's able to safely rotate back out. They are aware of the Maestro's position. But at this point, things are looking very, very hard for the defensive team if they're looking to find any success here. This will more than likely go the way of PDHM.
Bomb located by attackers.
Tries to find any possible angles, looking at the attackers here, but they're just going to play it tight. Not peek anything they don't have to and wait for the defender to come to them. As when you have count in your favor, there is no need to throw things away, and that'll be Croissant finding the closing pick. We find the conclusion of that round, and that'll be a victory for the attackers. The first sight hold we see on defense for ProdigalGG on Church Arsenal does not go their way. They will be heading back. They did show a bit of promise on this site, and I have to say, if that little bit of team damage wouldn't have come out from the Jaeger and that flank would have found some success onto the players within main bar, that round could have gone completely different for Prodigal there. So be interesting to see how things go this round, and hopefully they're able to escape any possible miscommunications there from putting them in a game-changing position. But I don't want to take away from PDHM, as that was a solid attack there. Definitely big plays coming out from the IQ, getting a triple kill there, moving into plant on default after player count was heavily in their favor. Nice job from PDHM, but I can't help but think things might have gone differently if the player within stock's position was not given away so early on. So once again, nothing out of the ordinary from either of these teams. Evil Eye getting placed on the box, looking towards Secret Stair, give them some coverage over blue. We see Goyo placing a few volcanoes on key access points. He can be so strong, and even kind of plays an area denial role in the later moments of the round for defenders, as it seems like there is a bit of damage coming out from a team again, possibly. Maybe a pre-fire coming from the top of secret, but I highly doubt it. They are going to spot out the LA here, and She is going to have a lot of attackers dedicated to her position right away as they look to shut down this room as quickly as possible. They're holding some tight angles and she'll never even get a sight. So they take her down through the wall, and that's the roam presence from Rev shut down immediately. Nicely done from PDHM as they're going to take control over Strip, start making their way into the first floor of this map. Hopefully get to work on those hatches. Do have the Jaeger playing top secret, possibly looking for a late flank on this round. As I said, it's not uncommon to see the defenders stick to the bottom floor after that first pick comes out, as there is so many angles for them to hold down there safely. See, the hatch on Moto was soft, so they're going to go ahead and get that opened up with little to no contention, and they're going to go ahead and open up that one as well, as there's not even an impact hole or anything along the lines to stop the attackers from opening up the drop downs here, which is very strange to see. We do see the Kaid getting pretty aggressive on that Moto hatch, so they do even have the top of that wall prepped possibly for a C4, but it looks like he's already expended his C4. And that's going to be the Maestro going down inside of Arsenal. He falls victim to the Buck playing a vertical angle from Kitchen.
Bomb located by attackers.
That's going to be a 5v3. Player count leaning in the favor of the attacking team as Jaeger looks to get a flank but is unable to find it successfully. He'll rotate back down towards blue and hope to fight for another day. The attackers continue to sink their teeth into this objective. They'll go ahead and grab control over motor. You're gonna have to be careful though, as they do have a player playing tight within Church looking to grab the kill onto anybody peeking too aggressive from Moto, but that'll be another pick from the Maverick. Now we're looking at a 5v2. This is looking worse and worse as he finds his second kill. All up to the Kaid in a 5v1 situation. We can almost expect pretty much for sure that this will go the way of the attackers, and that's a flawless round for PDHM. As we have seen flawless attacks from both teams now on this map, which is very, very interesting. As typically you'll find this is a rather defender-sided map, but we're seeing some pretty good success coming up from both teams as they hit the attacking side. So they head back up into CC as the rotation is finally allowed them to do so, and they were unable to find success on that Church Arsenal hold, so this makes sense. I believe this is the only side we've won on the second half, or that ProdigalGG has won, my apologies. Standard lineup coming from both teams, as we did see the Jackal get picked for a second, but that was quickly switched off onto the Capital.
Attackers need to locate
As we see Ross head on over to Kaid, I do believe as well. They're really just hiding the ops there. I doubt either team is really expecting those to come through. We did see PDHM investing a lot in the west side of this floor at Master Hold. Interesting to see how ProdigalGG decides to hold that. They do bring two forms of hard denial to keep the attackers out as well, so that could definitely hinder their progression into sight if they are unable to deal with that properly. They do have an IQ on the board, but they're able to gain first floor control. It shouldn't be too big of a problem, as well as a buck. But they do have the proper operators in play to take care of this. But will they be able to do it in a timely fashion is the real question, as it can eat up quite a bit of time when you're not able to just simply toss an EMP at those walls and make your way forward. Alright, ping's coming out of the player at the bottom of garage here, so that wall's going to get opened up, and Kai is going to need to be very careful as he actually electro claws the wrong one. He read the audio wrong. Now he's going to have to drop down to blue through garage ladder. So they're going to be aware that he has to rotate back up through one of these three stairs now. He's going to choose the furthest one, which is probably wise, as they will have attackers positioned any possible positions here to take care of him. But we will see the electro claw get taken care of from the IQ. That will give access to the wall now for Thermite. Alright, so server wall is opened up now. That is just a minute into this round. They do have all of the hard breach utility used up. At least that they wanted to for now. So this is a very good pace for the attackers to be setting. We'll see the Maverick sitting on Rappel here, just peeking into anybody on server. You might get aggressive through that catwalk. We're trying to make a rotation. See a pretty aggressive position here coming from the Kaid, looking into construction. Doesn't seem that the attackers are too focused on a construction take, though. Pretty much all of their players are positioned to hold off the garage push, and we're actually going to see Shady find a pick onto the Jaeger, as we saw them so closely positioned to each other downstairs, and that'll be the opening pick for the attack. But Buck goes down from the player at the top of Cash. That's going to be the bandit getting traded by Shady, though, and we're looking at a 4v3. The player count in the favor of the attackers as Shady finds a triple. He's looking for a fourth, but he's unable to find his. Kaid does get the pick onto Shady, but immediately goes down before he's able to finish things off. So we do have the Echo in play with the Yokai here, but there's 50 seconds left. Those drones won't do him much in the way of help, and he's going to get picked off by the Maverick immediately, and that's another attacking win for PDHM Gaming. Very nicely done. They are taking what is a defender-sided map and making it very much so an attacking-sided map. Do believe they are at 3-1 after the half, and we sit at a potential match point as ProdigalGG is going to head back up into Cash GC, as that is the only site they found success on this part of the half. But the attackers are feeling pretty good as they've taken 3 in a row now. Momentum is definitely on their side, so they're going to look to shut this one out before the end of regulation, if at all possible. They're going to bring the right lineup to do so, as they have been hitting a pretty much textbook push here. IQ's been able to grab that first floor control, getting rid of the roam presence on the first floor, grabbing a little bit of vertical play onto anybody within sight, and then pushing up through that garage catwalk. Very nicely done from the attackers.
Many bombs as they can.
The Jaeger did seem like he was in position, but he did get snuffed out from the attackers. Both teams, for the most part, effectively dealing with the roam. Definitely some efficient drone work coming out. We do see both garage panels get close up here, making sure that the attackers will have to expend a good bit of utility if they want to find any easy angles onto the defenders here. We're not going to see the double denial here, as I believe they have a vigil on the board rather than Kaid. He will more than likely be playing on the roam, as it can be quite hard to spot him out if he plays with that Erk 7 properly. An aggressive position within secret here, though. We do see a lot of teams that like to kind of hold this as the flag in the ground and make sure that, if anything, they're going to stop the attackers from getting it early on. But they open up that garage panel pretty early on, making anybody on catwalk feel just a little bit uncomfortable. As Maverick tosses a drone here, as he's going to be looking to figure out what kind of charges he needs to deal with. Looks like they are more focused on just getting rid of the charges rather than using Maverick to soften up that whole wall. We'll let them do so quickly, as we do hit the minute mark. Or just a minute has passed. Rather, Jaeger actually getting pretty aggressive here, looking for the player outside of this garage panel. If they're not careful, he might be able to find the pick. It does seem that they are on drone. They might be unaware of any player who has rotated in recently. Right, so Capital outside of the garage panel here, and he is going to peek it, but it seems that the Jaeger was just unready, as he should have seen him for just a moment there, but unable to find the pick. As Capital rotates on over to that garage door, Echo is going to be aware of his position now. But I do believe that they were just able to get server wall open. As we see the Maverick sitting on Rappel, it seems that they just opened up the bottom of the panel there, got rid of the charges, and that's going to be Waffles finding an open pick onto the Echo within Catwalk, which is huge, as those Yokais will only be good for marking enemies now. Vigil will be on the bottom floor roam, but the roamer's just dropping like flies as Shady finds a pick onto Vigil. But not without Ori trading back. He looks to make this mountain climbable, but is not going to be able to, as Croissant and Waffles find the final 2 picks to finish out this matchup. And that's going to be an almost flawless half from the attackers as they go 4-1. Very, very nice job coming from PDHM there, as they were just repetitively able to make those site executes, take care of the run game early on, and dispatch a utility that was needed to get into sight, or at least to open up those walls. So nice matchup tonight. A lot of those rounds just narrowly going the way of PDHM, but nonetheless they come out on top. That'll be all for us tonight, folks. Thanks for tuning in and have a lovely rest of your night.